Hi,
Hello,
Kevin.
we coming for that black card back. I'm just
No,
messing.
I didn't
I'm
kiss
just
her.
messing with you. I'm just messing with you. Go ahead. So why
Um,
are black women losing high value black men to white women?
honestly, I think it's several reasons,
Okay.
but one of the reasons is the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of black women, I'm not going to say all because I know some who are not, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot are very rude and mean and disrespectful.
Uh-oh. Well, why do you think that is?
Because of how they were raised.
Well, the women that okay, the women that you see are rude and disrespectful. Um, is there does any woman ever address these women in public while they're being rude and disrespectful?
I've never seen it.
So a man can't do anything about it because if he did, he'd go to jail.
Yeah, he can't hit her. No,
He
but
can't do it.
he
I
could
mean, he can't
he
even
could
say
ask
anything.
her,
No,
to
no,
respect
but
her.
that's a weak position.
Yeah.
I mean, like you asking a child to stop cursing you out. I mean, that's the way it can't. It's just gonna get worse. So
Right.
my thing is, if why don't you ladies start addressing each other when you see women abusing men in public?
Well, I did address one lady,
Uh huh.
but she doesn't listen. So
Okay.
it's just if you say something, it's just back and forth. There's
Okay.
no, it's like they don't want, this particular person doesn't want to listen.
So was this in public or was it at someone's house?
It's my mother.
Oh, she does it to who?
She used to do it to my dad.
Okay. Well, I'm talking about out in public because your father, your mother in their house, that's private property. But if you saw a man in public abusing a woman, would you just walk by or would you call the police?
I would call the police.
Okay, then why don't you call the police on black women when they do it to black men?
Well, because if I call the police just because somebody was verbally abusing
Oh, whoa,
a
whoa,
multiple.
whoa, 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 whoa. I said abusive. I didn't make a distinction
Oh,
of
you
color.
mean, oh, I would. I would.
Oh, but you see, no, but you're going to say if you call the police because somebody is being rude, then what?
I don't think that they would respond to that.
No, 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 no. See, that's the problem
Okay.
right there. You, in our community, we equate verbal violence as nothing when it goes from women to men. But if it was coming from a man to a woman, you would call the police. You said that.
Oh,
Now, I
I don't want
said
to.
if he was hitting or if he was being verbally abusive, you said you call the police. You said yes. Then I said, well, why don't you call the police when you see a black woman being verbally abusive? Then you said, well, I don't think that, and that's the problem. The police would come if you call.
May I say something, Kevin? I don't want to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Okay. If I saw anyone being physically abused, I will call. And I do think that verbal
I
abuse
said
to a woman or a
verbally.
man is bad.
So,
I think
ma'am,
it's unacceptable.
I want to challenge you.
Okay.
You're trying to tell me that as a black woman, if you saw a black woman getting loud and aggressive, and you'd whip out your mobile device and dial 911 on the spot.
No, no,
Then,
I
ma'am,
wouldn't.
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's the problem because you wouldn't and you
Okay.
should.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you?
Because I wouldn't think that the police would respond to just verbally.
That's not your job. Okay, if a man was being verbally abusive to a woman and she was cowering in fear, would you call the police?
Yes.
Then what's the difference?
I see what you're saying. There's no difference.
The difference is you. That's the difference. You think a man can take it. You don't think the police would come, and that's not your job. Your job is to make the call.
You're right.
There's a person being abused at Lenox Mall. Send the police. But you ladies cover for each other. By the time it gets to your home with your dad, your mother has went through this world with enough women like you not checking her, with
I see
enough
what
women
you're
like
saying.
you not calling on her. So they're comfortable doing it.
You're
There are
right.
videos right now with women talking about men being violent and the patriarchy doing it, and it's juxtaposed with women abusing men in public.
You're correct.
So think about what I'm saying. Your initial response is if I saw a woman, a black woman being verbally abused to a black man, I wouldn't call. That should bother you. That should really bother you. That is your knee jerk response.
You're correct.
Do you have any children?
No, sir.
Well, if you had a son, you want somebody to call for him,
Yes,
and then you start calling for other people's son.
I will.
Have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Yeah, I mean, ladies, y'all are gonna have to start calling. Y'all are gonna have to start checking women. That's right. And see, let me go back to something I said earlier. You can't say you. Let me say, go back to something I said earlier. Uh, 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 You can't love what you don't acknowledge exists. If you can't say you love black men, but you cannot acknowledge that their humanity exists by you allowing them to be abused in your presence. Again, if a black man was being physically abusive to a black woman, you call. If a black man was being verbally abusive to a black woman, you call. But if a black woman is being verbally abusive to a black man, it ain't my business. You got to call. I think we become desensitized to female violence. Of the women on here who have a disagreement, if you have a disagreement, raise your hand. If you have a disagreement or a conflict, raise your hand on the Zoom call. I think we become desensitized to female violence. We just write it off as no big deal. You know, well, he can handle it. He's a man. He's tough. Or actually, what we do more than anything else is women just kind of get up out of there. They're like, I don't want to be around here. And honestly, if I call and say something on her, then I got to deal with her. Y'all scared of each other. All right. So, of the 5 ladies, does anyone have a disagreement or confusion? I mean, because I'm trying to source this out. I can't get to everybody. So, I'm trying to make sure I get to, let's see, who was up here first? Ebony, go ahead.
It's quite daring listening to some women speaking. The level of double standards that we see that is exhibited by women today is quite remarkable. Women sometimes are not ashamed at all when they're exhibiting their double standard of life in general. They may portray something to you, but in real sense, in actions, they portray something much more different. Look, this modern woman comes out to tell us that she's willing, let me even laugh a little, she's willing to call police. In fact, by the time she even said it, it came in when Kevin Samuels had grilled her to a point that she felt uncomfortable. That she's willing to call police when a woman is talking in a harsh tone to a man. Yet we see it now and again. Women calling police on a man when they see a man talking in a very bad tone or a high tone to a woman, maybe thinking that something is going to come up, thinking maybe they're having an argument. Sometimes they even term it as domestic violence. Why? Because it's their fellow women. Now, when Kevin asks a question, whether women are willing to do the same, when this time up, it's a woman talking ill, talking in a harsh tone, talking badly to a man. And this is where I wanted to see her speak. At this point, I really wanted to hear what she was willing to say to this topic. It's quite funny, but looking at how she has been speaking, we can all agree that she is not genuine enough to tell us the truth of what she would do. Because we know what women are willing to do in this situation. A woman can't look up. A woman can't sit when they are seeing a fellow human being may be harassed. But they're not willing to do the same when in this case, it's the man being harassed. And for me, that's where my problem is with the double standards in women. They have a sense of unity among themselves. They have a sense of unity or working together when it's a woman. But they're not willing to do the same even to their husbands. In their husbands, they're not willing to do the same, And that bothers me a lot. It bothers me a lot, and I think we can all agree that even Kevin Samuels feels bothered by women of this nature. Women that are not willing to have the same energy, same reaction when it's a man. Kevin has showed us the type of women that we have today. Women that are self-centered. Women that only want to be well without putting into consideration what men want, how they want it, and how men feel in certain situations. There is no turning back. It is done, This has been an experiment that Kevin Samuels has used to expose the thinking of women. And I'm afraid I have to tell you this. Women now can see who really they are by giving you this example of this modern woman. A woman that is willing to take or to call police on a man, that are unwilling to do it when it's this time around a man is being harassed. You can rewatch the video if you want to, but this is what I pick out from this video. This woman is standing in for all other women like her because we know most modern women are like her. I would like to hear what you think, guys, but personally, something has to be done. Well, I'm glad that you have listened to this, and at least something I know will be done. Guys, I would like to invite you to comment below your thoughts about this entire video. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.